welcome back to my channel. My name is Isa. Thank you for being here. This is my take on glass skin. So if you want to know how I did it, then just keep on watching. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. I've pulled my hair all the way back, so we're really focused on the skin today. We want to start with a really strong skincare base. So I'm going to go in with my moisturizer. This is by Khiels. It is the Ultra Facial Moisturizer. Any moisturizer is absolutely fine. I'm just going to blend all of this in. I'm actually going to zoom in a little. Okay, so we are gonna just rub all of that in. And then, I don't have an eye cream that I'm in love with right now, so I'm just going to use a little bit more of that moisturizer and apply that underneath my eyes. So while I'm waiting for that to kind of set into my skin, I'm going to apply lip balm. This one is by Khiels. It is the Khiels Lip Balm #1. This is just in the regular scent, I think, or is it coconut? Yeah, it's coconut. And this is really just a hydrating lip balm because we want our skin to look extremely hydrated. And then I'm going to spray my face with my Aloe Vera Mario Badescu spray and my Clinique Moisture Surge. I always mix these two, and I'm almost out of the Moisture Surge, which I'm in love with. So I need to repurchase that. So I just do one after the other, and then I let that dry. Okay, so now that's dry enough at least. I'm going to apply primer. So I'm going to use the NYX Honey Do Me Up primer. This is an amazing primer. I've been using it every day probably for the past month, and I just love the glow that it gives underneath the skin. So I just put a bit on the back of my hand, and then I literally just apply it to the areas where I really want to have a bit of extra sheen, which is pretty much the tops of my cheekbones. I bring the rest down into my cheek, my chin, my upper lip, and down my nose. I don't go in this area because I could use a different primer there, but also on the tops of my forehead. And then I'm going to let that dry for a second. And then I'm going to go in with the Estee Edit Pore Vanishing Stick. This is discontinued, but anything that is a pore filler will do. The Benefit Professional is also just a perfectly good alternative to that. So what I do is I just put a little bit on the back of my hand, and then I pat it into this area. If you've watched my videos, you've seen me do this before. That's all I do. I don't bring it up into underneath my eyes because my eyes have been very fussy lately, and I'm getting like fine lines underneath, and it's driving me crazy. It's really bothering me. So I'm just gonna avoid that area because the more product you put on, you know, problem areas, the more the foundation has to, or concealer has to sit on. So I'm really trying to kind of find that perfect combination of like eye cream and concealer, or just concealer or moisturizer concealer, you know what I mean. But anyways, I'm gonna go in with the Pixi Glow Mist, which it has a broken spout. It just pretty much sprays in one straight line, which drives me bonkers. So easiest thing to do is to take a brush. I'm just gonna take a Morphe E8 brush and literally, can you see? You can't see, but it's just like one straight line, and just wet the brush, saturate the brush with that, and then pat that onto the tops of my cheekbones and do the other side. I actually really like this product. It really gives you a glow from within, which is so nice. And honestly, you can just apply this and not wear any makeup. It gives your skin a really hydrated look. So for foundation, go in with the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. This is such a nice, fresh looking foundation on the skin, but it does have coverage. I think that the NARS, the Fenty, they all look fantastic, but they're a bit heavier on the skin, and we were looking for that glass effect. So I'm going to go in with the same brush that I sprayed the glow mist on, just so we have like that glow base in general. This is the Morphe E8 brush. So I'm going to apply it to the areas where I want more coverage, which is just basically my cheeks. And I'm going to buff that in. Now this is because I have the wet brush. Brush is wet. It is going to be a bit streaky, which is totally fine because I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender. I'm just kind of applying it first. And then I'm going to go in with my Beauty Blender, blend that out. Basically what I'm looking for in the foundation for this look is a finish of skin. And every time I wear the Tarte foundation, I always get compliments of how fresh my face looks. Because it's more of a water-based foundation, so you are getting more of a natural finish. So I'm just going to take whatever's left on the brush and blend it into my forehead. And then I'm just buffing with the brush and then blending and patting with my Beauty Blender. And I'm not bringing it on my nose because I'm going for the natural look, and if you have makeup on your nose, it's really clockable. Okay, so for concealer, we want to make our under eyes look really fresh and not tired, and I am actually really tired. I was traveling this weekend, so I actually am tired, and I kind of feel like I look tired. So I'm going to go in with my Colourpop concealer, which is a gross bottle right now, in light, and I'm literally just going to do 2 tiny lines there, and then I'm going to blend that in with my Beauty Blender. This is going to kind of basically color correct, not without correcting the color. It's just going to give me that brightness, and then I'm going to dull it down with my Becca concealer. So then I'm going to go in with my Becca Aqua Luminous concealer in the color medium, and I'm going to apply that like so. And I'm not going to go on my eyelids. I'm going to leave my eyelids bare, and I'm going to blend that with my Beauty Blender. And this is going to give a really, really, really natural finish. So I'm going to set that before it goes cakey, and for that I'm going to use my RCMA No Color Color Powder. And this stuff is great. I'm actually going to use a really stupid brush, but I like this brush. It's actually ridiculous. It has no like strength to it, but that's why I like it, because it really just gives me a very light application of the powders. Because I'm struggling with these fine lines under my eyes, I really try not to use a lot of powder because it just sets and sits in there and it bothers me. I just can't. I'm gonna actually contour and bronze with a darker foundation, and for that I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever Water Blend foundation. This foundation is actually extremely thin and pretty much barely there, and I like to use it for a bronzer because it just really looks nice on the skin. So I'm just gonna take a synthetic brush and dip that into the foundation. This is pretty, like my liquid bronzer by NARS is thicker than this. So don't be scared. And the thing about using a foundation is it'll really, really stay. And that is something that is hard to do when you're dealing with creams, because I don't like to set so much when I'm using creams, but if I'm going out all day or if I'm going out all night, I need to, because they will rub off, and I have really dry skin, so I can get away with this. If you can see, it gives a really nice natural kind of bronze to the skin. And then I'm just going to bring that underneath my neck. Oh, I forgot to say the color. The color, well, it's Makeup Forever, so it's just numbers, but it's Y415. Okay, so the brows are on. I'm going to then go in with concealer. Now, the concealer that I really just love, wow, I said concealer, I meant highlighter. So I'm going in with highlighter. My favorite highlighter to give such a perfect glass skin look is by Hourglass, and it is in the palette that I love, the Sunset Trio. Now it's absolutely on its last leg, but I'm going to use it until it's done. I'm going to go in with a synthetic brush, and I'm just going to take that, and I'm going to apply that to the areas where I highlight. The reason why I chose this over any other highlighter is because it really gives the most perfect natural sheen, if you can see, without looking like you have something on your face. And I love that. So then what you can do is just take your finger and push that into the skin so it really isn't sitting on top, it's blending in. And I'm going to put a little bit on my Cupid's bow and down my nose and on my eyelids. So for the glass skin, I am happy with this. I can totally just leave it there, but I'm going to go in with a tiny bit of the Milk Face Gloss. This is heavy stuff, so I'm really using like a tiny bit because it does crease. And then rub it on the back of your hand so you're not applying it all at once. But this really gives you the effect of glass on your skin. And so I'm just going to tap that on top of that Hourglass highlighter. On top. Now be careful not to use too much of this stuff because it is quite sticky, but if you use a bit and if you thin it out, it's totally fine. It's totally wearable. Just maybe wear your hair up because it'll get stuck on your face. You don't want that. Just down the nose a bit. Cupid's bow. And then I'll put a little on my eyelids. Like, I'm really thinning this product out though. Be careful because it's really beautiful when used properly and warmed up with your finger. But if you just apply this with a brush and you apply a lot, it's gonna be a disaster. So please be careful. So that's great. I'm happy with that. I'm gonna bring a little color to my cheeks. And for that I'm gonna use the Glossier Gloss Cloud Paint in Dusk. I love this stuff. It is really easy to use and it's just beautiful. So I'm gonna use that with the same brush I used with my bronzer, and I'm just putting that on the palette and basically just put it on your back of your hand so it saturates the whole brush, and then you can just lightly apply just to bring a pop of color. I'm going to put a tiny bit of color on my eyes, and I'm going to go in with the NARS Narcissist palette, and I'm going to take the blush color here. I'm going to use a M521, and I'm going to put a very little amount on top of that face gloss, just so it doesn't crease on my eyelids, and bringing a little color to the eyes, which is always nice. I'm going to apply mascara. For that I'm using Essence Lash Princess. So for lips you can go either way. You can go matte or glossy. I'm actually just going to use a tint because I am trying to make the focus my skin, not anything else. So I'm going to line my lips with MAC's Subculture Lipliner. Very simple. Just to give it a bit of shape. Alright, then I'm going to go in with Benefit's Posietint, and I'm just going to apply that and dab. Just so our lips have a bit of color, but not much. I'm going to use the Hello Fatty Vital Greens Face Mist. Okay, so once that's dry, I'm going to go in and powder a little bit with my Rimmell Stay Matte Powder. I'm just going to take a fan brush here because all I want to do is powder my smile lines right underneath my contour or my bronzer just to sharpen that a bit, and right in between my eyebrows up on my forehead and a little on my chin. And that is the only places that I like to powder because I like the rest looking super fresh and dewy. Okay, that is it. That is my glass skin tutorial completed. I hope that you enjoyed this. I know I really like this look and it's so easy to do. And for this look, less is more always. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I have many more videos to come, and thank you again. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.